I think I'm officially done with VidCon.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hey, Amanda, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and I'm not even going to pretend and say I wasn't going to do a video this year. My goal was to not, but unlike last year where my goal was to not, and then I went into VidCon, and then I had other creators be like, you're going to make a video, right? Please make a video. You need to make a video because they're having an identity crisis. This year was so weird going into VidCon that before I even got there, multiple people were like, you have to make a video. This year is really weird. But first, let me tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Squarespace. Whether you want somewhere that's super public to document your new hobbies or have a new platform that you can use to get your business out into the world in a new way, Squarespace is everything you need. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform to help you stand out and succeed online. Squarespace has a new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint, to help you get started with designing your site even if you have no idea where to start. You can set up or revamp your online store, and whether you have a store or not, their analytics system helps you understand exactly what's working on your site and what's not. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/swellentertainment to get 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website. And thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Let's talk about VidCon. Let's talk about why I left early and fled VidCon. So first and foremost, I had a full access badge this time. My friend Hassan Kader was a featured creator, and he gave me a +1 fairly last minute. VidCon did not send this to me. VidCon, I think they approved it. I think that's it. That's all I know. Otherwise, if that hadn't have happened, I would have had to get an industry badge. Why? We'll explain in a minute. But I wanted to make sure I gave Hassan his flowers for being a good friend. I was going to go to VidCon anyway because a lot of my friends, like Hassan and many others, were going to be featured creators this year, or at least speakers, okay? And I wanted to go and support them. And at the end of the day, still, for my industry as a YouTuber, VidCon is still the main event, okay? So even though I have been told that VidCon is very mad at me, or very might be an exaggeration. They're not happy with me. I am on a potentially proverbial blacklist, if you will, because of the video that I made after I was a featured creator for Baltimore VidCon, okay, and my experience with Baltimore VidCon. Even now, I stand by what I said in my video about Baltimore VidCon. Even though they're mad at me and all of that, didn't change my experience, okay, knowing that they're mad at me. And that's the risk that I take as someone whose priority with my videos is always going to be as honest as I possibly can be. In doing that, I'm going to piss off people. I've just been blocked before by company owners. I've had content creators that I've made videos on threatened to sue me. You know, I have events that are probably going to blacklist me. I have events that I've reviewed poorly that invite me back and they're like, let us show you how we did better. That has happened too. VidCon is apparently not that event. I came anyway though, because I live in California. This is my industry. My friends are here, and you can't blacklist me for being critical. You can never invite me back, but can't really blacklist me for being critical. I have a snack while I'm doing this, you know, because that's how all this is. First and foremost, before I go into this video, I want to make something abundantly clear. One, I love VidCon. VidCon, back in 2019, when I came back to VidCon for the second time, first went in 2017 as a fan when I was on a posting hiatus, okay. 2018, I went to TanaCon. 2019, I came back as a very small creator. I think I had about 5,000 to 6,000 subs at the time. To have the experience of being a creator there, probably one of the last golden years in my opinion. That, and then maybe 2022, but it was very much the Hiatt that made that experience worth it for me back then. In 2019, before I was a big YouTuber, before I was full-time, the experience of going and meeting other creators that were like just trying to learn, trying to figure it out, bumping into bigger creators, and even just meeting a handful of other creators and or viewers who had just seen a few of my videos and were like, oh my gosh, I hope you keep doing it. Like, that was so rewarding and valuable at the time as someone who was being very inconsistent and not getting a lot of views. To meet real people in person who said, I like your videos, I watch your videos, was incredibly valuable. And that is something I will always cherish. And that is why to see what VidCon is now is sad to me and is heartbreaking and frustrating, because it's like seeing something that you love slowly change and die and know, oh, it's never going to be the thing that I loved anymore. Two, sometimes people forget that free will is a thing. If you are another creator, if you are someone that I spent time with, if you are a fan or an attendee of VidCon, if you had a good experience at VidCon, if you had the best time ever, if you're like, this isn't even my first VidCon and this was the best VidCon ever, congratulations, you won. You won. Fantastic. good job. Do not let my opinions, do not let this video influence you otherwise. In fact, turn it off, okay? And go about your day knowing you won because you had a good time. You very much like this VidCon. You have every right to like this VidCon. Me not liking how things went or my opinions on all of this video and all of that does not at all impact your good time. Don't let it impact your good time. I had a good time. I know it doesn't sound like I did. I had a good time because I have great friends. I have great friends that I get to hang out with because they are also content creators. I know really fun people. I know really cool people. And this event is summer camp for creators. That's how I heard it referred to as, and that is truly how I feel it is. This job is so solitary, so isolating. So to come together and to have an event where we can all hang out and just have fun, okay, is really great. VidCon at a certain point becomes for the creator, especially for creators who have more adult fan bases or more older teen fan bases. My audience is predominantly 18 to 34. This year specifically, it's been trending this way for a while, but this year I honestly have to say, I can't in good conscience recommend to my audience, come to VidCon so we can meet each other. I can't do that because aside from maybe meeting me, maybe a few other creators that you like, there is nothing for you here because the expo hall as a whole isn't even for creators really anymore. It's for young fans, and that's fine because a lot of creators have young fans. The expo hall this year in particular was very much a toy convention first. It was also, I would say, 30% smaller than it was last year. There were, yes, booths that were content creator related. Live company, a Korean streaming company or Korean creator company, that was cool. Lumix was there. NASA was there, okay? But as a whole of a convention, it's not enough to fill up a weekend ticket. It's not even, I don't even think enough to fill up a full day ticket. So for me to be like, hey, I'm gonna do a little pop-up meet and greet or something even, if whether I was a feature creator or otherwise, okay? There's not enough here for me to be like, yes, there is enough for you here. This event isn't for me anymore because it's not for my audience anymore. The convention center itself, VidCon itself. I also, and this is what I think bothers me the most, I don't even think I can recommend this to small and mid-sized creators anymore. There was a lot more on the creator floor this year, and I will give them that. Okay, last time there was just a couple of little booths and then TikTok had a little lounge, which was very crowded. This time the TikTok lounge is very crowded, but again, with the way these rooms on the second floor of the Anaheim Convention Center are set up, all of these rooms get very crowded. This time as well, YouTube had a lounge. Instagram had a little pop-up thing where you can go and ask questions about Instagram. Fantastic. Much more activations on the expo hall floor itself for the creator floor, okay, which is a separate badge tier. Great, fantastic. Love that.
We told the cake shop that we were hungry, and they just gave us their little like baking things that they were having people wait in line for. Tasty Tinies, thank you. You guys are real ones.
Let's talk about industry for a second. To talk about industry, we have to talk about last year, and we have to talk about the Hiatt. I was told at some point, oh, I can't talk about this. I'm telling William to leave that clip in because it's important for you all to know that in order for me to be told some things, for me to learn things, I have to protect people's confidences. And there's some things that if I share them, it would reveal who told me. Let's just say I know a thing about a thing in relation to me. It does not affect the video itself, okay? But I know a thing. I've openly been told a thing in private. It's all about me. It's not about VidCon as a whole. It's just about me. Last year for Anaheim, I had an industry badge that my management paid for me. We couldn't get me full access or a feature creator, obviously, or invited guest even. So my management was like, let's get you industry so you can get as much access as possible. And then sure enough, I have people that I know at YouTube who got me into the Hiatt last year. Industry track last year, I went up to the industry floor a few times. There are a few things on the industry floor that are very relevant to the creator economy. There are things on the industry floor that are very irrelevant to the creator economy. Last year it was a lot of AI. Me as well is that unless you're giving me like really clear concrete data about something, most of what's going to be spoken about now as someone who is a full-time creator, this is my whole job. It is my whole job to consume and learn about the creator economy and do it for commentary videos or just even for my job as a businesswoman who's a content creator. I don't need to go to most of these talks because I understand most of them already. Not to say I know everything. I'm just saying that like most of this information is out there in some capacity for free. There was nothing that I got out of being industry last year. They had a weird little lounge that like if I was having meetings or something and they also had industry badges, this would be valuable. But it wasn't valuable to me, frankly. So I was like, okay, wasn't gonna do an industry badge this year. I was just gonna do creator badge. Then a friend of mine, okay, got invited via Instagram to the Hiatt. Not the email itself, but they sent me a line of the email that said, you must have an industry badge to get into the Hiatt. Please note, you must have an industry badge to get into the Hiatt. If you're wondering what the Hiatt is the creator hotel for featured creators, and they're +1s. If you were a speaker, I believe there's another hotel. You can maybe get into the Hiatt, but it's a case-by-case basis is my understanding. The Hiatt also, they try and make the Hiatt fun. They try to have things for creators at the Hiatt. Why? Because they don't want you hanging out on the expo hall floor and causing mobbing, fire hazards, your safety, their safety, fans' safety, etc. So they make the Hiatt fun so that when you're not doing a panel, you're not doing a meet and greet, you are not wandering and causing havoc just by your very existence of being a creator at a convention for fans and creators. So the Hiatt becomes a spot where there's like lounges, okay? Various lounges from different companies. Usually companies sponsor them. This is great for creators because one, you're mingling with creators of all different sizes, not just large creators, mid-size, small creators, okay? Various platforms. I met great friends via these lounges that are TikTokers or Instagram people that I never would have met really otherwise because I just don't engage with those contents in that same way. But you also can meet, employees at companies that you may not have access to, okay? So for example, the YouTube lounge. I've met a lot of great people that I now talk to fairly regularly at YouTube because I met them in the YouTube lounge. Or the Instagram lounge. In my video last year, I shared that for creators, the expo hall was no longer important, okay? Getting into the Hiatt is what was important because you, again, can talk with other creators more in a less overbearing environment than the creator hall, the creator hall or that's the other thing with the creator hall as well, for the floor for VidCon. If you're just having a conversation, I almost got into an argument with someone. In my defense, I was primed to be mad at everything at this point in time. But this guy's marketing tactic to get creators and kids and attendees to like sign up for his thing was predatory and I thought it was weird. And so I told him so. I don't feel bad about it. When you're on the creator floor, especially now, if you're just talking with someone, people will just walk up and be like, oh my God, you have a camera. That's so cool, do you have a camera? Anyways, here's my company. And just start pitching you a company, which is fine. But if you're just trying to have a conversation with a creator that you just met or a friend, it can be very jarring. And it happens quite frequently, but that's the nature of the convention we're at. So the Hiatt is a good middle ground. But again, like I said, mix of audience sizes, mix of different platforms, just a good mix of content types even. There's also the added security benefit of knowing, okay, at least to get in here, someone had to vouch for you or a company had to want to talk to you in some capacity. And so you're like, okay, you're probably not crazy. You might be, I don't know, but it's like, it's a nice little like, okay, someone had to verify that you were like a real person, and that you're not going to come in here with like a chainsaw or something. And the security is pretty tight at the Hiatt, okay, for good reason, obviously. And that's one thing I want to say as well, because this was an issue about Baltimore. Security at VidCon was great. Were there communication issues at times? Yes. But that is not the fault of the security people themselves. Where they were sticklers for the rules, I appreciate it being sticklers for the rules, and I want to make that abundantly clear. I have issues with the procedures to get to certain points, but the actual execution of the rules themselves, spot on. Fantastic job on security. In 2022, okay, it was the first VidCon back from lockdown. I ended up at the Hiatt by random invite, okay? Amazon Live invited me to the Hiatt. Why? We still don't know, okay? My management never figured it out. I never got a concrete answer. I appreciate it. In 2022, it was the year that TikTok was the title sponsor for VidCon. Because of that, a lot of YouTubers who were normally featured creators were not made featured creators that year. So what happened is that a bunch of companies at the Hiatt that had brand activations were like, well, we still want to talk with these creators. We want them to come and hang out. We want them to, whatever. So they invited a bunch of YouTubers to the Hiatt, still, these companies. And then YouTubers just went to the Hiatt and never bought badges for VidCon because why would I go to VidCon? In most of these instances, massive creators. I'm talking like 1 million+ subs, all of that, okay? They were like, yeah, why would I go to the expo hall? I'm not even gonna go, I'm just gonna go here. Or they would just go to the parties and things like that. Well, VidCon wasn't happy about that. So for 2023, the rule was you have to have a badge and a wristband to get into the Hiatt. This could be any badge. Now, I had people try and tell me that I was remembering incorrectly and that it has always been yellow badges than industry badges. No, here is a photo that I took last year of the spotter sheet that they had hung out for security so that they know which badges were legitimate and which weren't. As you can see, all badge types were allowed. Why do I have this? Because I'm me. This year, they changed it. Now, I don't think this was a last minute change by Vidcon. I think they knew they wanted to make this change for a minute because of costs. I think they waited to tell the brands at the Hiatt that this was a change because of how it all played out. So within the month leading up to Vidcon, okay, 30 days, let's go with that. My friend gets the email from Instagram with the note about the Hiatt. I was like, I really hope that's not the case because for those who don't know, the industry badge at the time of this, $1,000. And I thought that was a slap in the face on the part of Vidcon for mid-size and small creators. $1,000 pass. Yes, I can afford it. I don't think your convention is even worth $1,000 pass for industry as well. Industry is priced that way. It's priced like a conference, but also it's priced so that fans don't just get it to get access to creators, okay? It's priced to price out people. Industry is for like managers and businesses that want to have access to creators or want to hear about trends in influencer marketing or the influencer economy, etc. Okay, it is for that. There is a level of people that exists for industry. It is not content creators. There's a creator badge for that, or there's invited guests, etc. The creator badge, I think at this time, was a little under $300, if not $300. Drastic price difference, okay? So now, this is also at a point in time where if you had bought a creator badge, I believe it was too late to refund it and then get the industry badge. And also, again, most mid-sized and small creators, okay, cannot afford $1,000 badge on top of the trip to Anaheim and accommodations, etc. That was the whole thing. The big picture in its entirety, I think I know why it happened. They wanted to get profits up. How do you get profits up without raising ticket prices for everyone else? You raise the price for the people who have no choice but to pay it to get access to the things that make it valuable for them, which would be creators not paying for creator badges and instead being forced to get industry badges. I had been told by various companies that they were not happy that this was a last minute change. They were adamant with me that this was not their choice and it was Vidcon, and that it had ruined a couple of plans for them. So for the Hiatt, like I said, I ended up getting full access via Hassan, okay? My management was probably going to get me an industry badge. And they did in fact enforce this. If you did not have an industry badge, it didn't matter. You were not going to be let into the Hiatt. I don't even think they would give you the wristband. I was told Instagram bought a couple of people industry badges because what a lot of people do, and YouTube in particular is very much like this. It's one of the reasons I love YouTube. YouTube employees really do love talking with creators, okay? That's something that I have found in YouTube employees across the board. It doesn't matter if there are shorts team personnel or something and they're talking to me, a long form creator who added me is like, I hate shorts, okay? They were like, oh my God, why? Like, tell me why. My understanding with why this is that YouTube higher ups really like hearing input from creators via employees, okay? So an employee being like, hey, we shouldn't get rid of the red logo for YouTube is one thing. If they say, hey, creators are gonna hate it if we get rid of the YouTube logo in red or something like that, they're much more likely to listen to that. That's a random example. This weekend, I actively bagged on Gen AI to someone on a Gen AI team at YouTube, and it was fine. Like, we had a whole conversation about it. It was fine and dandy. And that's something that I've always liked about YouTube. But that's one of the things they get out of VidCon as well is direct contact with creators. Same with Instagram. Same with other brands that have previously been at the Hiatt. I don't know if YouTube paid for anyone to have a badge. I do know they paid at least one creator to go to VidCon because they didn't want to. And they were like, no, we want you to do this panel X, Y, and Z. And so they were like, okay, pay me. You know what? It worked. That creator got paid. So the Hiatt this year was much emptier. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? It would probably be fine. You achieve what you wanted, which is less people at the Hiatt maybe. I don't know how many actual industry badges you ended up selling because of this. I don't have the exact number, how much it differs from last year if you're really trying to boost up those industry track badge numbers. But the Hiatt this year was very sad. It wasn't lively the way that it has been in previous years, because also at the Hiatt this year, there were 3 less lounges. Last year, there was YouTube, Meta/Instagram, there was Jelly Smack, there was TikTok, Nickelodeon, and then upstairs there was a gel blaster room where they were like, you could like test out gel blasters. There was another one that had like, it was like a little like management company, I think. Okay. And then there was a kitten cafe, okay, where you could adopt kittens and like hang out and have coffees. This year it was Instagram, YouTube, a company that's name I'm blanking on that was a creator agency that their banner said AI, so I think this really deterred a lot of people from going in because we didn't go in at first, but I think they were a management company. And then a VidCon lounge. This one in particular was sad. It was just to have some, they added this just to have something down this hallway. This is usually where Jelly Smack is. My understanding is Jelly Smack also no longer has money. The Hiatt as a whole, I think, was really an indication this year that the recession has finally hit the creator economy. I've been talking about this for a while. The creator economy is not immune to this. I think across the board, ad rates are down for a lot of people. A lot of streamers are dealing with this as well because obviously if a good chunk of your income from streaming comes from subs on Twitch, if your audience is also struggling financially, obviously then you're not getting those subs and things like that. Now, I'm not saying, oh, woe is me, poor creators. I'm just saying the state of the economy is affecting the creator economy, which a lot of people like to think the creator economy is immune to because one of the constants in life, the industries that'll always do well, that'll always survive, is crime and entertainment. There's another one. I think it's sex work. Basically, it's like people are always going to want to be entertained. There's always going to be crime, and then there's always going to be the need for sex appeal, essentially. Long term, yes, I do think creators will be fine. In the short term, though, what does that look like? Okay, and that's a lot of these companies that take a lot of VC money to advertise to creators, not seeing the return, but they took a bunch of investors and then now they're pulling back because, oh my God, what are all these? There's no return on the investment. Oh my gosh, Jelly Smack, etc. Allegedly. Sorry, don't sue me. Do you have money to sue me? I heard you have like 5 employees right now, Jelly Smack. Is that true? I'm just shaking shots at everyone today. There was nothing at VidCon, and then it felt like there was also nothing at the Hiatt. Even this time, like, the food was better, I would say. Some creators were like, oh yeah, no, the food is better. But as far as like the variety of food at the Hiatt, even for creators, because that's one of the benefits of the Hiatt, is like creators that do make the trek out here, it's easier to like justify the trip because it's like, oh, well, they're going to feed me while I'm here. You know, like there's going to be food, there's going to be coffee in the morning, there's going to be things like that. We spent a lot of time on Instagram because Instagram is a little more vibey. Side note, one of the fun things about the Instagram lounge is they had the exit, to go to the exit of the lounge, you had to go through their like meta AI thing. When I tell you I could count on one hand the amount of times that I saw creators talking to any of those people, I mean it. Most of us avoided that area. Why? Because most of us don't want to use AI. It was all very, very sad. And then this year as well, I met a lot of creators who this was their first VidCon. What was devastating to me is people that would come up and be like, oh my God, I'm here because of your VidCon videos. Sometimes I didn't even refrain myself. I just said, I'm so sorry. The additions to the creator floor, I do think are very good. Would be interested to see how much of that is Instagram and YouTube and TikTok being like, oh, we want to be here because of X, or if that's VidCon being like, hey, instead of the Hiatt, do you want to do this? Also, allegedly, it has been told to me that next year the Hiatt's going to be even less so because next year the Hiatt will have 0 brand activations. So no Instagram, no YouTube, no whatever that other company was. That'll only be backstage for featured creators. Yellow badges also can get back there. But if you have an industry, anything like that, if you are not a big creator, if you are not a chosen creator, you will not have that. All right. The amount of creators that told me, if that's true, I will not be here. It's interesting. They have more like brand activations out here, I feel like. But
Or it is more that we give a shit about.
Yeah, more than we care about, but it's just so warm. Like it's 11:30, it's only 78 right now, but like it's still really hot. And there's no sun coverage out here because of the palm trees. Cannes Lions last year was the same weekend as VidCon. A lot of big creators went to Cannes Lions instead of YouTube last year. This year, VidCon caved. I don't know if they caved actually or if they were like, oh, this is the weekend we can get it or what, because they've been pretty locked into the dates consistently. Usually VidCon is not the last weekend of June. It is the weekend before the last weekend of June. And then there's a weekend between VidCon and Anime Expo. There's like a whole weekend in between. They moved it to the end of the month because Cannes Lions, in my opinion, was that weekend instead. So I believe that VidCon said, we're going to move so that you can do both. The only creators that I know that did both were Colin and Samir. Not to say that anyone else didn't, but that was my understanding. A lot of creators that I met this year, that this was their first VidCon, previously went to Cannes Lions last year, and they were like, oh, that was amazing. Like, I'm here because of X, but like next year I'm just going to do Cannes Lions. They wanted to do both, but obviously you can't swing a trip to France and a trip to Southern California back to back for most creators. It's expensive. Now that they've had the experience with VidCon, they're like, we're not going to go back. Why would we do that? This is weird. I openly had someone tell me this is probably the worst run convention I've ever been to. This was their first time. And they're like, yeah, no, Cannes Lions was incredible. Like, I would not come back here.
I also want to make the note of anyone at VidCon that I talked to that we like met or like we didn't know each other super well, but we talked a little bit. If I was very weird or off, apologies, okay? I just dealt with a friend breakup, all right, with someone who was only a friend of mine because I was a YouTuber. So I was a little closed off, standoffish for a good chunk of VidCon because of that. So apologies if that came across very weird.
So I booked my ticket to come here. Hi, I'm in Portland for Formula E, okay? I fled VidCon early to come watch cars, electric cars go vroom, okay? For a different video. That video is either out now or it will be out. Oh, also, this was the first year that I was able to do the expo party.
So where we are at is the creator party at the convention hall. So Friday night, they closed the convention hall a little early to get all of the community creators, industry people, and out, and then yellow badges and like people with the approval can come in, and it's like a whole creator party. So it's like future creators, things like that. So first time doing this. But we're gonna go walk
Did you not do this with me last time? Or did I hallucinate that?
I didn't come in here.
Oh, fuck. I did it. Oh, I was with Jaden.
Anyways.
Anarchy has been previously, and so Anarchy was like, oh no, there's way more free stuff this time. Normally it's not this much free stuff. Like a lot of the booths were giving out a lot of free stuff. Elf was there, Minecraft was there. Again, it was a lot of younger booths, so I got a lot of toys and a lot of children-esque things, but there was a lot of free stuff. There's usually parties as well. There were parties, very miscellaneous parties, but they weren't like, oh yeah, in association with VidCon. It was just like, creators are here. Come to this thing that's nearby. Why am I frustrated with VidCon? It's not even just the hype, just the overall tone and vibe of VidCon. Like I said, I can't in good conscience anymore recommend this to creators. I don't think it's financially making sense anymore. I think there are other things, honestly. Open Sauce, this year I wasn't able to attend. I've heard some things that are just growing pains that need tweaks, but for the most part, everyone that went had an amazing time. Offkai, there's a bunch of people that had a great time. Obviously that's VTubers. TwitchCon, very specific for Twitch streamers. Obviously, that's a whole separate thing. Then you've got Open Sauce, which is makers slash DIY slash cosplay slash all that. I think niche down events are the future for the content creator space. As much as I love the intermingling, I don't think that VidCon is the place for that anymore because it's making it not the place for that anymore. And I think that's why I'm sad, because it's like, if this was just the last year of VidCon, I would be sad because I'd be like, oh my gosh, this thing that I love is ending, you know? But it's this, which has just gotten over year, I'm like, what's going on? It's this thing that I love, that I have so many good memories at, that is just like progressively getting sadder and worse. And it'll keep going because it's still the industry the industry standard, but it's just like, I don't recognize you anymore, you know, in a weird sense, you know, which is very dramatic, obviously. Hello, look who you're talking to. I'm done. That's why I left. I was frustrated and I was annoyed and I was just like, why am I here? I went to the commentary panel, like I said. I can't remember if it was Jarvis or Eddie, Jarvis Johnson or Eddie Burback on the panel. One of them said, because they were asked about VidCon and all of that, one of them said, VidCon now kind of feels like I'm a camp counselor who doesn't know when to stop coming, or something along those lines. And I feel that wholeheartedly. I, as a creator, have outgrown VidCon, and VidCon is no longer for me as a creator. It is no longer for most mid-sized creators, in my opinion, and most small creators anymore, I don't think. If you are someone who you're like, you just want to go run around and maybe make content with people and go for a day, then maybe this is for you. Get a community badge. I don't think you need a creator badge. By the way, VidCon is selling, allegedly. I have been told that by numerous sources. Viacom is trying to sell VidCon. The rumor that I was told, that's kind of up in the air, is that they already did sell it. It's under new ownership. They just haven't announced it yet. Some of the last minute changes, some of the things I experienced, what I think is more likely is that they have a buyer, but it's not signed yet, you know, like it's not finalized. And so like the industry badges, things like that. It's like, oh, let's get a little more money.
By the way, VidCon did sell. I got confirmation of that. I know what type of company. It's not who I thought, which I thought was weird. I personally thought a social media management company or like a social media like marketing agency made the most sense. It wasn't one of those, but they did sell.
I want to make something abundantly clear as well, because apparently after my Baltimore video, I was told that people believed I had an inside source at VidCon. I don't. I want to make this abundantly clear to you, if you're watching this at all, ever, anyone watching this, honestly. Creators talk. They talk to each other. and a chunk of them talk to me. And creators are smart enough to realize a pattern and see things that are changing and see how things are being said or done, or we just pay attention. We're creatives, we're not stupid. Next year I'm gonna go to Cannes. It sounds fun. A bunch of creators that I talked to that went last year, they're like, I'm going to that next year. I'm like, oh my God, let's go. They're like, oh my God, party, let's go. That'll be really fun. And then I might just bop around Europe, you know, maybe go to Monaco, go somewhere else, I don't know, Barcelona. Anyways, that's going to be it. Did you go to Vidcon this year? Did you stay at Vidcon this year? Did you go to any of the parties? One of them got broken up. A bunch of rules changed in Anaheim, so like a bunch of the rooftop parties that like brands usually do were like at smaller capacities, so it was very weird. Hell, if you had a great time at Vidcon, comment down below. Tell me why. Let's hear it. It's totally cool if you stuck around, because I know some of you are nosy, like me. Understandable. And you watch this whole video and you're like, she's wrong, she did this, she did that. Totally valid. Feel free to comment down below. But that's going to be it. Reminder, I stream on Twitch. Reminder that Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder to use code SWELL for 10% off on gamer subs. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting my Patreon. If you'd also like to support my Patreon, that'll be down below. Links to my social media. That'll be all up here. And that's going to have a lovely day. Goodbye. What's the saying? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I'm tired of waiting for a different result.
Thank you, Oz, Eva, Ayana, Abby, Angel, Goth, Glynn, Palace, Pink, Jasmine, Lauren, Amy, Aslan, Medic, Rosie, Victor, Andrew, Tenzin, Sam, Mae West, Michael, Ryan, Adira, Nathan, Zwink, Literal, Jeffrey, Randy, QWERTY, Nomad, Thomas, Tasha, Donnie, Winter, Kenny, Robert, Cameron, Elliott.